Hello. I have managed to be able to do a live today. So I am joining you from Nurturing by Nature at Upton, and I have got some spring foraging tips for you about what you can get out and about for free right now. Okay, so we've got an amazing article on the website. It's one of our blogs. You need to check that out because this will have all the information in it for you. But this is all about that transition now. We're in spring, it's transitioning into spring, and what we can find alongside a really nice healthy raw diet that we can feed to our pets. Okay, so we're looking, obviously we are raw companies. We make raw pet food and we know the benefits of raw food. And there's also amazing things out there that you can get for free that you can add into your pet's diet, into your dog's meals that are going to really benefit them that you won't have to pay for. Hello, Tempest. Nice to see you this morning. Okay, so obviously we've got spring, we've got lighter evenings, we've got longer days. So we're going to be out, we're going to be doing a bit more with our dogs potentially. And then we've got various products that you can use, but also we're looking at plants that are out there that you can forage, that you're legally allowed to forage. As long as you're not in a nature reserve, you can legally forage these plants, and these have beneficial elements for all of them alongside feeding a raw diet. So previously, people have been what types of vegetables can I give my dogs? So try and avoid veggies that are starchy, so that carrots and things. The best thing you can get is you go to the supermarket, or maybe you grow your own, but the leafy greens, so spinach, you've got carrot tops, you've got things like beetroot tops, but those are the things in the bag that you can stick in the freezer, scrunch it up, and then you can feed that to your dogs. And because we're breaking it up for them, like I have with these, you break it up for them so they can absorb the goodness from it. So I'm going to start off with some dandelions. Now, everybody should know what a dandelion looks like, I would have thought. However, dandelions are usually a sign of a good, healthy grass. They are the little plants, and sometimes they can be quite big. We can use the whole of the plant in a dandelion because they are amazing. They're good for us as humans as well. But for dogs, we can use the roots, we can use the leaves, and we can use the flowers in their food. So this one I picked this morning, so he's looking a little bit sad. So that's the dandelion, and we're all quite used to those. When you go out and forage for this sort of thing, it's a really good idea not to just use it straight away. I left this for an hour or so on the side by the grass outside the front of the unit to let any creatures remove themselves from it before I washed it, and then I put it in the freezer. So these are the unwashed bits and pieces, so I could show the actual plant that we're looking at. So we've got the flower, we've got the leaves, and there's the root there as well. Now that would be hard for them to digest, so you might need to blend that down, but these are all free things that are out there. And what I did with this, I cleaned it, basically washed it, left it to one side to dry, patted it down dry with a towel, and then I froze it. And now this has only been in the freezer a short amount of time, but this is what it looks like now it's been frozen. And what I've done is I put it in a bag whilst it's in the freezer. And I mean, some of these plants are quite frost resistant, so, but not in our freezers. They're very, very cold. But yes, this is what it looks like now. So I would probably like this to be a lot smaller than it is because it needs to be broken up for the animals to digest it better. And then we've got a couple of the flowers. They've ended up like this. And then the roots like this. So that's going to be a bit too hard. Dogs might find that a bit bitter. They might not be interested in eating it like that. So maybe you could grate that, put it in a blender. Might ruin the blender, so don't do that. But grate it down to get the goodness. Now, this is a small part of the root. Dandelions have huge roots, and they go down. So they're a good sign of good grass, actually. But yes, that's what I've done with this. This is the dandelion. There's one of the clock house. Other people might know these as blow balls. Next, you've got the dandelion clock, cankerwort. We've got milk witch, and because it's a diuretic, it's also known as peer bed or wet the bed. So the roots, they contain compounds, anti-inflammatory properties that can help alleviate joint pain, support overall joint health in dogs. They can be dried, they can be roasted, they can be ground down to make a dandelion root powder, which you can then add to your pet's food as a supplement. The leaves, they're really rich in vitamin A, C, and K, which is why we like the leafy greens for our dogs. And they also have several B complex vitamins, and they contain minerals including calcium and iron. So dandelions are a massive boost to your pet's nutritional health if you can add them into the diet. Now, I know this isn't going to be for everybody, but some of us give this a go. It's a good one. So the flowers as well. So the dandelion flowers, these here, they're rich in antioxidants, and these can help combat free radicals, a lot like the Neptune's yard. That's also good for the free radicals. And you can harvest these fresh and add them in. I would break them down again so the dogs can actually digest some of it. So maybe chop it up a little bit, or put it in a blender potentially. And that's dandelion flower, and that's really good as well. Or you can dry the petals. I think people do that as well. So you sometimes find that in some of the herbal supplements. So what's good about dandelions for dogs? So dandelions are good at supporting the liver. They help support liver health by producing and promoting the production of bile and aiding in detoxification. So if your dog's not, maybe she's had an anesthetic and wants to detox, then this is not a bad thing to add into their food. Digestive health, because dandelions are quite bitter, that can help to stimulate the digestion and produce the production of digestive enzymes. That helps to alleviate and help with digestive issues with dogs. They are a diuretic, which acts as a kidney, helps with kidney function. It increases and promotes urine production in the dog. So that can help to prevent urinary tract infections and other kidney related diseases. And you've got the other thing about these is they're really good for their skin and their coat health, because vitamins and minerals found in dandelions help to contribute to healthy skin and a shiny coat. So now, being raw feeders, we know how good that the raw food is. This could also be something else that you can add into your pet's diet. So that's the dandelion. So a lot of people will be very aware of these even in your own gardens. So when you're foraging for something like this, you need to make sure that it's in an area where it's less likely to have been peed upon, and that they're not using any pesticides. So you don't want that. So you need to make sure that when you even when you bring them home, look out for any little pests that are on this. So some of the dandelions had quite a few little bugs on, so I didn't pick any of those, made sure they were free of those. And then when I brought them home, I made sure that I set them on the side so the little creepy crawlies can creep off. And then once I'd done that, I washed them to make sure they were clean for the food. So overall, dandelions are really a versatile and nutrient-rich item that you can get for free in our hedgerows, that you can add to your dog's diet. And the best way, I think, would be to chop it up small, either grate it, or like I have done. I think this could go back in the freezer, actually, have a little bit longer, because it's quite solid still. But once it's frozen, it will break up quite nicely. And it's much easier when these leaves are frozen to break them up in the freezer, because you can just scrunch them in the bag. And then these bags can be reused for next time. And it smells all right as well. So that's the dandelion. So I would have thought most of you are really familiar with those. Really handy herb to know that you can use and add to your pet's diet. Next up, we've got some bramble tips. So because it's spring, it's that time of year where all the plants are shooting up, putting their new bits of plant out. And this is the bramble. You may also know it as a blackberry. So in the autumn, we talked about how good blackberries are to add to your pet's diet. Well, the other parts of the plant can be used too. And these are the bramble tips. So I've kept them in water to try and preserve them so they don't look floppy, and you understand what they look like when they're out and about. But these are the bramble tips. They have got little spikes on, but they're quite soft at this time of the year. But not when you freeze them, apparently, because I went and scrunched the bag, and they're a bit prickly. But yes, these are bramble tips. They're quite soft, and the dogs will be able to well, you can nip these off and we can freeze them down and put them in your dog's food. So bramble tips look like this once they've been frozen and scrunched up. So I remove the majority of the stalk and I then pop them in the freezer, and we're ending up with a, can you see that? Yeah. Nope. That's the bramble tips. And then, yeah, I mean, the bigger bits of stalk like that I probably would throw away because they won't be able to digest them so easily. But these little pieces here, and there's no prickly bits in here now because I actually took a cup and I knocked it all out and bashed them down, so they're really small pieces. So this is going to be a lot easier for your dog to digest because I've broken it down for them. You could do it even further if you wanted to by adding it into a blender. That would help. So you may know brambles as blackberries. Those are the fruits that you can actually pick in the autumn when you're out and about walking. So benefits, again, antioxidant. Bramble tips contain vitamin C, which helps combat free radicals, support your immune system in your dogs. They can help reduce the risk of chronic diseases and promote overall health and well-being. They have anti-inflammatory effects. Bramble tips have natural anti-inflammatory properties, which can help reduce inflammation in the body and alleviate symptoms associated with conditions like arthritis or joint pain in dogs. So it's a nice natural remedy that if you add to the food, not really going to cause any issues if adding that in. Digestive support. So there are tannins in bramble tips, and that can help soothe and protect the digestive tract. That's beneficial for dogs with digestive issues or a sensitive tummy. And they also can be beneficial for urinary tract health. Bramble tips act as a diuretic. They promote urine infection. Diuretic, they promote urine production and they support the urinary tract health in dogs. This can help prevent urinary tract infections and other urinary issues. They're good for the skin and coat again. So this is vitamins and minerals found in bramble tips can contribute to healthy skin and a shiny coat in dogs, reducing risk of skin issues like the dryness or irritation. And last of all, they've got anti-diabetic effects. So some studies suggest that bramble tips may have anti-diabetic effects by helping regulate blood sugar levels in dogs. So this can be beneficial for dogs with diabetes or those at risk of developing conditions. So anything along those lines, you should always consult with your veterinary professional anyway, but that is something you could have a look up online and see if something like that would be beneficial for your dog. So overall, they're a valuable addition to your dog's diet, offering a range of health benefits that support their overall well-being. So that's the common bramble, which you see all over the place, and this time of year is the perfect time of year to go out and get yourself some and pop them in the freezer. But take the tips, not the further down part of the plant, because that's quite spiky. The tips, the little thorns on the tips are thin, but I would probably recommend you wear gloves with that anyway. Next up, we have got stinging nettles. So stinging nettles, we're probably all very familiar. I had to wear gloves when I got these. I did wimp out. I did wear gloves, and basically they are stingy, and they even stung me through the gloves, but I had very fine, thin nitrile gloves on. They weren't proper gardening type gloves. So these are the stinging nettles. These smell amazing now that they are frozen and scrunched up. I think the dogs will probably really quite like those. And once they're scrunched up and frozen, they break down quite easily. And again, maybe this could do with a little bit longer or a second scrunching potentially. But yes, these are the stinging nettles. Once I pick them and wash them, I put them in the freezer. And these are the seeds actually. So if you're wondering what this one is, that's also stinging nettle, but this has got lots of the flowers on. Okay, so that is stinging nettle. Stinging nettles are, let me just check, also known as spring nettles, potentially. They do sting. They've got tiny little hairs on them that hurt when you pick them, which I found out earlier. They are nutrient rich. So stinging nettles are packed with essential nutrients, including protein, calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, beta-carotene, potassium, vitamins A, C and D, and B complex. And then these nutrients contribute to overall health and well-being in dogs. Anti-inflammatory properties again. Nettles contain compounds with natural anti-inflammatory properties. These help reduce inflammation in the body, making them particularly beneficial for dogs with conditions like arthritis and joint pain. Again, allergy relief. So nettles act as a natural antihistamine, which can help alleviate allergy symptoms in dogs. So that can be useful. This can help reduce inflammation in the respiratory system and relieving itching caused by allergies or by dry skin. And we've got they can help address anemia, especially in female dogs. The iron content in nettles can help boost red blood cell production and improve overall blood health. We've got a diuretic effect again. So nettles can act as an effective diuretic due to their content of beta-citoris. I don't know what that is, sorry. This can help support kidney function, urinary tract health in dogs, promoting proper hydration and waste elimination, and skin health. So nettle tea or nettle extracts can be applied topically to soothe irritated skin, and they can help provide relief from itching caused by flea or fly bites. And the natural remedy can help improve skin health and provide long-lasting relief without the need for harsh chemicals. So overall, stinging nettles are a valuable addition to your pet's diet, and you can get them for free from the hedgerows like I have today, and they smell amazing now they've been frozen down. So that's probably the one that smells the best. So that is a stinging nettle, and you can pick that up like I did just in the hedgerows. The last herb or product that I've got from the hedgerows are these guys. So you may know this as Cleavers, which is probably the most common name for it. But when I was at school, we used to call it Sticky Willy because it does stick. It's got tiny little grippy hairs. It's a bit like Velcro, and it sticks to you, to everything, to the dog. And I suspect you're probably really familiar with these because they have those little tiny balls on them, and those stick to your dog's coat, and you have to groom them and they get grumpy with you. So this is the plant that produces those little tiny balls. That's the seeds that they can spread them. Sometimes it's also known as goosegrass or sticky willy, catchweed, robin run the hedge. So those are other words that you might know. And this is a really good thing. Chickens and geese and birds like this as well. So they are cleavers. That's another name for them, a sticky willy goosegrass. So this is what it looks like once it's been frozen and broken down. It's a little bit woodier. So you've got quite a few stringy bits where the stalks are, and the leaves do sort of turn into a bit of a pulp. So you might want to sieve those out, or you might just sort of feed them as they are, and they might pass through. They might not use all of it, but they are quite easy to freeze down, and they broke down really quickly. So that is what they look like once they've been in the freezer for a couple of hours. That's the cleavers. So they have anti-inflammatory properties. Cleavers contain compounds that have natural anti-inflammatory properties. They can help reduce inflammation in the body, makes them particularly beneficial for dogs with conditions like arthritis and joint pain again. So the majority of these herbs and hedgerow herbs that we've got here today will help with joint and inflammation. They're a diuretic. They are rich in nutrients, so they are really rich in vitamin C, as well as a wide range of fatty acids and tannins. So these nutrients contribute to overall health and well-being in dogs, supporting various bodily functions. Lymphatic support system. So cleavers benefit the lymphatic system by cleaning out the lymph nodes, and they flush out the urinary tract and the kidneys. So this helps with the lymphatic system performing its primary tasks more efficiently, which helps to promote overall health and vitality. And urinary tract health. Cleavers act as a diuretic, promoting urine production and supporting urinary tract health in dogs. This can help prevent urinary tract infections and other urinary issues. They're also useful for skin health because they can also benefit skin health in dogs, promoting healthy coat and reducing skin irritations or inflammations. But we need to break them down. So that's why we put them in the freezer, and that's why we broke them down into a bit of a pulp although it's a bit sort of chaffy, a bit woody, so they might not be able to use all of that, and you might see some of that in their poo, but that's okay because they will benefit from some of these smaller bits of the leaves like that on my finger, and that will be digested and easier for them to digest because we've broken it down. So cleavers are a valuable addition to your dog's diet if you can get hold of some, and there was absolutely loads. That must be the time of the year when they're really growing quite crazy, and they're really easy to pick as well. They're not so woody at this time of year. They do get woodier as they get older. Any addition to your dog's diet, it's essential to introduce this sort of thing quite slowly over time, monitor for any adverse reactions. If you have any concerns about incorporating any of these herbs today into your pet's diet, just consult with your veterinarian for personalized guidance for your own pet. So those are the 4 products I've got here. They're not really products, are they? They are products of nature. So I haven't paid for any of these. There's a bit of work to go and get them ready. I had to pick them, find them in a nice safe place. So things like the stinging nettles and the bramble tips, I made sure were nice and high, sort of above pea height, so they're not weed on. These are also quite high because these are growing quite prolifically at the moment, and they sort of track their way up through the trees as well, or through the hedges. So these are all free things that you can go out to your local woodland. Potentially don't go to a nature reserve because the whole point of a nature reserve is to protect nature, but these are all, and you're allowed to pick these. So things like bluebells, they are not, you're not allowed to touch those, but these are actually okay. You're allowed to forage for these products, and you're allowed to put them in your pet's food. So basically, that's what I wanted to show you today, that you can actually go out and actually benefit your pet's health for free just by picking up things in the countryside like I have. Now, this could be a bit of a faff. That's absolutely fine. There are products that other companies have made and that we've got that will help you as well. So one of the ones I'd like to highlight would be the Dorwest. So it's almost neighbours to us. They're just down the road. Easy Green, this one here, is a herbal blend. This is their old packaging. This is their new packaging that they've got. So this is a herbal blend, and it's got spinach, parsley, and watercress in. Easy Green is nice, helps for calming down the skin, but that's also really good for extra vitamins and minerals as well. Nice big tub of that. Costs a little bit, but you don't need much at a time. So that's Easy Green from Dorwest Herbs. They also have this one, which is Keeper's Mix. This is a bit more of an all-round mix that you can get. Keeper's Mix has quite a lot more ingredients in. It's got kelp, it's got celery, it's got alfalfa, nettle, herb. So the nettles in that one. It's got rosemary, it's got psyllium husk, it's got cleavers, which is also another name for cleavers. So it's got this in as well. It's got wild yam root. So that is the Keeper's Mix. You put a measure for small dogs and cats, 2 measures for medium, larger 3, and giant over 45 kilos are 4 measures. And you've also got a measure in the pot. That's the Keeper's Mix. So I think we've got some more on order for you as well for that. So that's a good product that you can pick up in store. And combine that. So what Mum does with her dog, or what she did with Solly, was to mix it up. So sometimes she would use this, the Keeper's Mix, and sometimes she would use the Easy Greens. Another really good product that we sell is made by our friends at Phytopet, and that's the Canine Sure. Again, a lovely natural mix of herbs known for their vitamin, mineral, and essential fatty acid content, and the omega oils. And this has been formulated to support your dog's essential needs, helping to maintain optimum health and well-being. So something like this can be added in. It's very easy for them to digest because it's a powder and it's already broken down. Okay, and then it's also suitable for all feeding regimes. So it's not just for raw dogs. We can add this to any of our dogs' diets just to improve what they're doing. So this is the Canine Sure. It's got beetroot, rosehip, spirulina, turmeric in it. I'm sure there are other, seaweeds, alfalfa, fenugreek. It's got lots of herbs in. It's got nettle in again. It's got parsley. You've got spirulina, nutritional yeast, beetroot, rosehip, hemp seed, chia seed, aniseed, and turmeric. So it's also good for joint health as well. So this is like an overall, all-round, super green daily sprinkle that you can put in your raw diet or on any type of food for your dogs. That's a really good, nice, healthy addition to add in alongside the raw. You don't have to put vegetables or fruit into your dog's diet, but this is really nice for them. Okay, moving on to our amazing product here, which is full of free radicals. This is the Skin and Coat Neptune's Yard. So this is a prebiotic. It's a fermented seaweed. This is really good for their skin and coat. That is why, although it was called Neptune's Yard previously, we renamed it Skin and Coat because that was the feedback that we got. This feedback on this product was amazing. It's a prebiotic. It helps them to digest their food by feeding the probiotics. It starts at the beginning rather than halfway through. So adding the Skin and Coat, if you find it on the website, it's actually on offer at the moment. So you can find it, try it for a really low price. I think you'll find this tub here is £5 at the moment. So you can pick that up in store. And also, if you happen to be on Facebook or Instagram, this is one of the Fun Time Friday prizes at the moment. And it's a really beneficial prize and dogs will love it. Doesn't really smell too bad. It doesn't smell like it is sea-ish. It does smell like the sea, but it is seaweed at the end of the day. So that's what you kind of expect. Okay, so that's the products that we've got that will help to benefit and contribute to a nice healthy raw diet. Just to recap, I've been out today. I've picked some lovely herbs from my walk, from a nice local walk in the countryside. We've got Cleavers, which is goosegrass. We've got some dandelions. Here they are. You've got some nettle tips. And they're, that's not nettle tips. These are nettle tips. Sorry. Nettle tips. And we've also got bramble tips or blackberry. Might know that as, and that's nice and soft. And each of these I've frozen down in the freezer, and I put them in a bag and scrunch them up once they've been in the freezer for a couple of hours so we can break them down. We need to let you know that the chicken carcasses are back in stock, so they are back online. They're here. You can get them on the subscription site, and they are first order is half price, so it's worth popping onto there. Just follow the link on the main website. So you'll save some money if you buy them through the subscription site. That will help us to plan as well. So that we were able to mitigate a lot of the issues with this because we knew how many of you wanted them and how many we had coming up. So when our supplier wasn't able to bring them out to us as we were expecting, we were able to actually not let quite so many people down because we were able to plan ahead, which is really helpful. So that's the chicken carcasses. We are open this weekend, as you know. Thank you for sticking with this. It's been a bit of a ramble. Hopefully that will inspire you to go out and try picking up some of these products out and about. So yeah, that was it. Hopefully we'll see you over the weekend. Thank you for joining me. Take care.